on, guys? It's Noah here with CustomRCMods. Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I've got the FT Mini Mustang, and as you can see, this plane right here has taken a bit of a beating, and pretty much all FT Mustangs that I've flown have. They're not perfect, and they're really not a very good beginner plane. They take a lot of tuning, and usually after that tuning, you've gone through at least a rough landing or two, so you're looking something like this. And I'd say, I mean, it's still in very flyable condition all around, so not too much to complain about there. Anyway, let's go ahead and run through my electronics before we put this thing on up in the air. I really like how this hatch comes off just like that. AR6210 on the rear part of the fuselage there on the wing. We've got a 3S 850 milliamp hour battery from Nanotech, Turnigy right there, and then we've got a 2207S 2100 kV Sunny Sky motor with the 5152 Gemfan prop and a 30 amp ZTW ESC, and then all around we've got the Turnigy 1440A 4.4 gram servos all around this aircraft here, just like that. Just one sheet of Adams Ready board foam and a little bit of poster board, plus some duct tape for my wings. That's all you need to build this plane right here. And boy, does it fly well once you get it to fly. So I'm going to go ahead and install this rubber band right over top of the turtle deck. There's more glorious methods than this. This one just secures the turtle deck down, and it may not look the best, but certainly gets the job done really well and very, very easily. So as you can see here, do some control surface testing. Got our ailerons, elevator, rudder, and then of course our throttle. I'm going to go ahead and make sure my propeller is all just straight. I was flying this earlier, had a pretty rough landing there. And here we are, guys, up in the air. So this plane is a really fun plane to fly if you're an advanced pilot, and definitely needs some experience to fly this thing. It's very fast. It is very touchy, even on moderately low rates. It takes a lot to keep this thing airborne, and you got to be managing all of your control surfaces all at once, and obviously have some quick reaction time to keep this thing from meeting its demise into the ground. But you can do a lot with it. It definitely has the touchy rates for a reason. It's not necessarily scale, but you can definitely do some barrel rolls just like that. Also, another thing about this, besides like the CG that's very hard to tweak out, definitely your trims and especially your motor thrust angle are very, very difficult elements of this plane build here. Just because, as you can see, mine, it tends to curve off to the left when throttle is applied. My thrust angle is not far enough to the right there to offset just the torque of the motor on these planes. And that's one thing that sets these minis apart, is that the big motors that you might put on them actually have a large effect on the small wingspans, ability to stabilize the plane, if that makes sense. So for this entire time, pretty much, we have been flying at full throttle, and full throttle is fun, do not get me wrong, but you gotta love the half throttle and the slow passes with this airplane here. It's just, I mean, there's something really appealing about these smooth lines, doing some nice big circles here. Still working on getting it trimmed out, and it's just very, very nice and relaxing to fly once you get it under control there. I'm flying probably like 25% throttle, and now granted, this is a very, very large motor for this airplane, so that could definitely be an effect depending on which motor you choose, on how low your cruising speed could be on the throttle stick, so keep that in mind. But you can see flying real nice just like that, and at a consistent throttle, especially a low throttle, that thrust angle doesn't really make too big of a difference, and you can just zoom around just like that, kind of going behind me there. Right here at 50% throttle, you can probably double your flight time just by not drawing as many amps and flying like this. And you can see I'm flying this single-handedly bank and yank. Unlike the other FT Mustang, I mean the larger FT Mustang does fly well bank and yank, but it still needs a little bit of rudder authority to get it to fly really well. This thing can fly pretty much fully bank and yank, but it's also really nice to fly with a little bit of rudder in there too. you can do some air drifts or something like that, whatever your style is. Trying to keep the air drift on. Here's full rudder right here. It's interesting. But again, it still does fly very, very well. Bank and yank. If you're just getting into faster airplanes, you have a little bit of flight time under your belt, you're looking for a challenge but you still aren't that great at coordinating your turns and your rudder mixing, this could still be a great option for you if you're looking for a challenge. So one of the first things I always look at in an airplane is its kind of ability to have different experiences at different throttle levels. Like something like the FD Aero is fun at full throttle, but when you knock it down to half throttle, I mean, it's just cruising around, and it's not that much fun because you can't do much else than just go in long straight lines and have you know, that experience. But this thing is just really fun to fly at half speed. But then of course you can also crank up the throttle and have the super high speed fast passes. So yeah, that's gonna about do it for this battery. I get about 3.5 to 4 minutes if I fly rather conservatively. If I'm all out, I'm definitely in the 2 minutes and 30 seconds neighborhood. But I mean, most of the time I'm definitely more like 3 out in 3 minutes and 30 seconds for the most part, just because again, I don't always smash the voltage on my batteries when I go out and fly. So here we go, guys. We're gonna bring it in for a landing here and see what we can do with this thing. So bring it in for a glide. You got to keep the nose pinned down so you don't tip stall. Just like that. And catch it. Now, don't catch it if you don't know what you're doing, but I always catch it by the wingtip. And there's these aeration pellets, these dirt pellets in the grass here that will definitely scuff up the bottom of the airplane with some dirt. On these white planes, it's definitely probably in your best interest just to catch it in that sense, but do it at your own risk. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really like this plane all around, no matter what it looks like, no matter if it has a few dents or wrinkles or scratches on it. It's still a lot of fun to fly. If you guys have any questions or comments, video ideas, definitely accepting those in the description or in the comment section below. And check out the description for any of my other FT Mini Mustang flight videos, as well as the build video on this very plane you're seeing right now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.